we ready?
We are indeed, Chair. We are ready.
Yes.
Chair, the next witness is Mr. Likheto. May the witness please be sworn in.
Thank you.
Please state your full names for the record.
Leonard Hauretilelwe Lekgetho.
Do you have any objection to taking the prescribed oath?
No.
Do you consider the oath to be binding on your conscience?
Yes.
Do you swear that the evidence you'll give will be the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth? If so, please raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Yes, you may
Yes,
proceed.
Chair. The file that you'll have in front of you, Chair, that would be CC5 to CC16. And the particular folder that we will go to is CC10. Chair, as we've earlier conveyed that the earlier affidavit by Advocate Mutibi has been placed in front. However, Advocate Mutibi was unable to come, and therefore Mr. Likheto had then come in his place. And his statement will be found under folder 10.1, CC 10.1, and that can be found on page 118.
Do the two affidavits talk about the same thing?
Chair, they more or less talk about the same thing, yes.
Okay. And this leave out file, have we admitted it?
Yes, we have admitted this,
Okay.
Archie, the
All
file,
right.
Chair.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Likheto, the document in front of you, can you just go over to your file, please? That document on page 118, can you identify that document, please?
I can identify, Chair.
What is that document, Mr. Likheto?
The first page is written Exhibit CC 10.1, Statement of Leonard Hauretilelwe Lekgetho.
And if you turn over the next page, what document is that?
The next page is a statement that I've made.
And if you turn over to page 121, is that your signature?
That's correct.
And you signed this statement in Pretoria on the 6th of September 2019, is that correct?
That's correct.
Mr. Likheto, where are you employed? Where are you currently employed?
I'm currently employed at the Special Investigating Unit as the Chief National Investigating Officer.
And can you please inform the Chair, what are your functions as the Chief National Investigations Officer?
My function as the Chief National Investigating Officer is to overlook all the investigation relating to national departments, including the SOE. I manage all the investigation that relates to all those departments.
Thank you, Mr. Likheto. And in paragraph 3 on that first page on 118 of your statement, you state that you are going to be dealing with the affairs of the SABC. Can you just elaborate on that?
That's correct. I've been called to come in and give progress in terms of the investigation that we're currently dealing with on SABC.
And these are various investigations, matters, and so forth concerning the SABC?
Correct. There are several investigations that we are currently dealing with at SABC, and I think when I'm ready, I'll take you through the progress, which would outline all the progress that we have made today and the name of the specific contract that we are looking at.
Thank you. Chair, if I could just take you to the slides in which Mr. Likheto will be referring to in all the matters that the SIU is currently dealing with concerning the SABC. You will find those slides, Chair, on page 153 of that same folder.
Yes.
But however, Chair, we do have an updated version of these slides that were furnished to us this morning by the SIU. It's more or less the same, just an updated version that was presented to Parliament on the 10th of September 2019. And these slides will basically incorporate the table that is highlighted as from paragraph 6 of Mr. Lekgetho's statement. That could be found on page 119 of Mr. Lekgetho's statement. Upon your Chair's approval, I beg leave to hand up the updated slides in which Mr. Lekgetho is going to take us through.
You know what I'm thinking? Unless there is a concern that there's been an excessive delay in the investigation process in regard to a certain matter, and I want to be satisfied why nothing is being done or why progress is slow. There is no particular reason that I can think of why I wouldn't want to be given evidence about what the progress is. That's what I'm thinking about now. You know, we have had cases where somebody says I reported to the Hawks this particular complaint or the SAP, and they've done nothing. Then one wants to find out if it's something that relates to corruption and so on, that falls under the terms of reference. Otherwise, I'm not sure that, if it's not that kind of situation, I'm not sure that I particularly need to hear evidence about how far they've gone. Assuming, for example, that everything is on track.
Yes, indeed.
You understand what I mean?
Yes, Chair.
Is there an angle that I'm missing that you might wish to tell me about?
Well, Chair, the purpose of Mr. Lekgetho coming this afternoon was to update the Commission on the progress, particularly in terms of what is going on with specific matters at the SABC. This will be dealing with, the irregularities and so forth, and the matters they have referred to, for instance, to the SAPS and so on. Mr. Lekgetho did come and convey that he doesn't necessarily want to dissect each and every matter because they are before courts and they have been referred to the relevant platform and so forth. So Mr. Lekgetho will just be dealing as to, what is happening with this particular contract, the progress,
yes,
and
but
so
that's
forth.
what I'm talking about. If there is no concern that they have delayed unduly, why should I spend time listening to them telling me how efficiently they have dealt with the matters? If they explain that to a parliamentary committee which has oversight over them, that I can understand. Mm-hmm. But I don't exercise oversight over them. I'm interested only in terms of issues relating to state capture and corruption, but where there is a concern that they were supposed to have investigated certain matters relating to corruption, for example, and there has been a delay, I could then want to hear what's going on. But otherwise, if there is no such concern, I'm not sure that I really need to hear what progress they've made.
Indeed so, Chair. We can ask if Mr. Lekgetho, because he is privy to all the ongoing investigations and so forth, if he could then highlight exactly if there have been delays and so forth, because
No,
particularly
but
these...
I'm saying as things stand, unless you tell me something that I might be missing, as things stand, unless there are matters where there is a concern that there's been a long delay, I don't see why I need to know what progress they've been making. In other words, if everything is going according to plan, there is no need for me to spend time hearing his evidence along those lines.
Indeed,
If it may be that it's a report that might be of interest at some stage to read, but I don't think that I should hear oral evidence simply about that.
Indeed, so Chair, if upon your Chair's approval, can I put to Mr. Lekgetho if there's been any due delays in any of these matters and so forth, because he would be privy to everything that is going on. Can I put that question to him?
Well, if you don't have the concern of a delay, why would you put that question to him? You would be wanting, wouldn't you be fishing for information? He might say, no, there's nothing, and then that's the end. You understand?
Yes, indeed, so Chair, I do understand what the Chair is trying to convey.
Okay, maybe we'll say this. The matters that are taken care of, are dealt with in this report, are there any matters that have delayed for long periods while they were being investigated by the SIU?
No, Chairperson, all the matters are on track.
They are all on track.
Yes, Chairperson.
Okay.
Chair, just to bring to the Chair's attention that these matters that Mr. Lekgetho was going to talk about are matters that are being investigated by the Commission. It's not just only the SIU that have taken this responsibility of investigating. The investigators are on these matters as well, and that's why we felt that it was important for Mr. Lekgetho to talk about this, the matters that are ongoing and so forth.
Well, if they are being investigated by the Commission, let the investigation be finalized first, and then witnesses can be brought at the time.
Indeed so, Chair. We also have a witness that is coming in due course that will talk about the reports, the forensic reports, and he will come and talk to those reports. So there's a link between these cases that the SIU have taken on and the upcoming witness that is coming to talk about these reports that the SABC themselves have investigated.
Well, if there is a link, what may be possible is that hearing his evidence now doesn't reveal the relevance, but if it comes later after certain witnesses who deal with the reports have given evidence, it may be that then its relevance would become apparent. So it might be that it's coming at a wrong time in that sense. Because at this stage, as I say, if it's matters that they are investigating, everything seems to be under control, I'm not exercising oversight over them. But if a matter was reported to them a long time ago that falls within our jurisdiction, then they seem to have done nothing about it, then I would welcome evidence that tells me what happened, what's going on. You understand?
Yes, Chair, I appreciate
Yes.
The Chair's concern. I would then propose, Chair, with your approval, that we hear our upcoming witness that's going to testify about the forensic that's happening at SABC, and then at a later stage have Mr. Lekgetho, dependent also of Mr. Lekgetho's availability, that then he would then come back.
Yes, no, what we can do is, if you think that once the evidence of certain witnesses has been had in relation to certain reports, the relevance of his evidence about the progress might become apparent, then take that decision at that stage. And if you propose to bring him back, then I can look at it at that stage. But at this stage, I don't think that I really need to hear what progress they are making if there's no complaint that they are not doing their job.
As the chair wishes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chair.
So you understand what I'm saying, eh?
I understand, Chairperson.
Yeah, so you may be asked later on, but for now, maybe it's not the right time.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. You are excused.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you.
Chair, due to Mr. Lekgetho being excused, that would then conclude the witnesses of today. And we do have a witness lined up for tomorrow.
For tomorrow.
Yes, Chair.
At this stage, do you know whether the witness for tomorrow is able to be here at 10 o'clock, or is that something that is still uncertain?
Thank you, Chair. We're still awaiting confirmation, but in the event that particular witness is not available, we've lined up another witness that could start at 10 o'clock.
Oh,
Yes,
okay. So should we, I mean, there are two options.
Yes,
If the witness that's scheduled for tomorrow is only going to be here like at 11,
yes,
then we could say we start at 11. But if, but another option would be that we start at 10.
yes.
And if she's here at 10, we start with her. If she's not here, we start with somebody else.
Yes, Chair.
Yeah, and then we take it from there.
Yes, Chair. I'm just worried that in the event that she's not able to make it tomorrow, then we would be wasting a day.
Yes,
Maybe we
yes.
should adjourn until 10, Chair.
Yes.
Chair. Then I will have the 10 o'clock witness ready.
Yes,
Yes,
okay.
thank you.
All right. We'll adjourn the proceedings for the day. We will start at 10 o'clock tomorrow.
Thank
We
you, Chair.
adjourn.
Thank you.
All rise.
I broke out a sweat there.